graduated already, but I'm a senior now. And a quick 10 months later after we met, I found out I was pregnant, but apparently he already knew. I don't know how he really knew, but he says he knew.
Yeah, she's lactose intolerant, and the one ice cream that she can have, she decided one day she doesn't like the ice cream anymore, and it kind of raised flags inside my head. And she never used to be mean to me, but one day I went to give her a hug, and she told me to leave her alone. You were pretty mean that day.
Whatever.
So the next day I decided that we were going to get a test, and I bought like 3 of them.
No, you bought one.
I bought one, sorry.
I took one. It had 2 tests in it. I took one. Came up positive. And I was like, no, like that's not really, it's not true. And he was like, we can try the other one. So I drank a bunch of water, tried the other one, and it came up negative because it was just like water. And then I was like, we'll wait a little while and we'll try another one. So we bought another one. I took another test and it came up positive. So then we're like, okay, well this is just, I don't think this is just a coincidence. Like it might really be happening.
I think with teen parenting, some of the biggest issues are trying to juggle school, just like those, it's not just high school, it's also those in college as well. How do you juggle school, how do you juggle work, childcare all together, and having a support system with that at the same time?
Who was the first person you told? My sister. I called her that night. And I told her, and she was like, I'm coming home, I'm going to help you tell Mom and Dad.
She lives in Florida, by the way, so she came all the way to Florida to tell her dad. And then the first person I told was my brother, and after that, we decided that I had to tell my mom. And, man, tell my mom, it was pretty easy, actually. I was, Ma, can you sit down? I need to tell you something. And she just right away instantly, she better not be pregnant. I was like, wow, that's a good guess. I was like, yeah, no, she is.
I don't know, it was like not what I expected, I guess. I told my mom first, and she was like so excited because my sister was a surprise for her coming home, and she was all excited that my sister came home. And then she was like, well, what do you have to tell me? Because I told her before I had to tell her something, and I just looked at her and she was like, you're not pregnant, are you? And I was like, yeah, I am.
They made it pretty easy to tell.
Yeah.
They just guessed it for us,
And then 5 minutes later, my dad walks in the door and my mom's crying, and he just got back from the gym, of course, and he brings all this stuff in, he puts it on the table, and he's like, what's the matter, what's going on? And he saw my sister, and he was like, what are you doing home? And she was like, I'm here to support Lindsay. And he was like, well, why? What is happening? So then I told him, and he just walked away, and then, like, it was like a half hour probably, and he came back, and he told me he still loved me and everything, and that he was going to be there for me, but it was going to be a long, difficult road. And then after that, Alex came over and talked to him for a little bit.
It was like a Soprano movie. We were at the kitchen table, all the lights were off except the one on the kitchen table. Oh, yes, it was. I could really feel the pressure building up. But we talked, and everything went well. And I just told him that I was always going to be there, and that I was going to be the father and a good boyfriend and help out as much as I could. And then 2 days later, I left for basic training, so I was gone for 4 months while Lindsay had to deal with all of her hormones by herself.
He left me alone for 4 months.
That was tough. Definitely writing letters back and forth. She's sending me pictures of how her pregnancy's going and how big she's getting, which she didn't really get that big.
I still was showing a little bit, though.
After that, it was about 5 months till the baby was due, and we were getting along just fine. I mean, we obviously had a little bit of fights here and there, like a normal relationship. And I just started work about a week before she was pregnant, so I was working the whole time, and I get a call one night at like 2 o'clock in the morning right before I have work, and she's like, I'm going to the hospital, like, don't worry about it, like, I don't think anything's happening, but I have like really bad cramps. So she's like, you can go back to bed, and I'll call you if anything happens. Okay, yeah, sure, I'm going to go back to bed after I hear you going to the hospital, right.
I was ready to push right as the epidural wore off, so it was like I could feel everything, and it was the most painful thing of my life. But as I was like probably 10 minutes before I had Aubree, they gave me like more epidural, and then that's when I really couldn't feel anything, and then she came, and now here we are. Well, anyways, I'm very excited, and I was very happy that it was a girl.
Best day ever.